We've visited Anna in Darlington. Hello, I've just seen you on the telly.
I know. I was talking to my new best friend, Clive Myrie, who regular Drive listeners will remember was keeping your seat warm a couple of weeks ago. It's not very warm here. It's freezing. I was cold yesterday and I'm cold again today, but the skies are a beautiful blue. The sun is shining. We are talking particularly about these red wall seats in the northeast of England because the local elections are coming up and it's the first real electoral test for the Conservatives since Boris Johnson won so emphatically the general election back in 2019. They're different elections this time, of course. You've got big elections in Scotland and Wales. You've got councils up for grabs in different parts of the country. There's a mayoral election here in Darlington and sort of parts of Teesside as well, the Tees Valley as they call it. So let's talk about what informs people's vote. Dr. Joanna Berry's with me, Associate Professor of Entrepreneurship at Durham University Business School. Amy Campbell is here, a student at Durham University who's just been accepted onto the Civil Service Fast Stream. And Nicky Jolley's here too, the Managing Director of HR company HR2day, which is based here in Darlington. Hello to all of you. Joanna, I notice you've got a warm hood on now.
I do.
It is a little chilly. First of all, tell me, Nicky, about the sort of investment that you feel that Darlington needs and how much of that you feel has been forthcoming since the general election.
Wow. Darlington's getting investment all the time. It needs more. But, they're developing the marketing. They've done the business central. They're looking at upgrading the railway station. So they've really pumped in considerable amount of money already. But there is more to come. We need better commuting. We need, the airport is getting a huge investment, which is really exciting when we can actually use it in these current climates. But, they are doing everything they can. I think we've had a really tough 12, 18 months, and even so, things are happening. We do need more shops, we need more integration for the businesses locally, but it's fabulous to see people out and about and around at the moment. It's really great.
Joanna, in terms of what is coming this way, we talk about things like the Towns Fund, which goes to different areas across the country. There was the announcement in Rishi Sunak's budget of those Treasury jobs that are moving here to Darlington. Is it the sort of investment that is sustainable, I suppose, for one thing, and that people will actually notice? Because for governments, they want people to notice if they're spending money. And if it's not noticed and not felt, then are they getting value for money at all?
Absolutely. Yes, I think it is. There's a sense of a gathering momentum. Even my taxi driver today, and I do love a taxi driver, was very conscious of the fact that there's a sense that there are businesses starting to open, yes, because lockdown is easing, but also businesses starting. Entrepreneurship was a word that he used, not me, first of all, that there are people starting businesses. There's a renewed sense of optimism, and there is a sense that in and around the Teesside area and in and around Darlington, people are starting to feel like there is activity, economic activity, and entrepreneurial activity that is starting to feel like it's worth doing now because there is money starting to flow, which certainly, and this is pre-pandemic, did not feel like it was the case in this area. So there's got to be a good thing that this money is starting to feel like it's being loosened up a little bit in this area.
Yeah, and part of it, I suppose, is people being able to have careers and actually stay in the northeast of England, not need to move to do that. Because Amy, as we said, you're joining the Civil Service Fast Stream. Is that London-based?
It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere at all. I think when I originally applied, I just assumed that I'd be working in Whitehall because that was the association I had with the Fast Stream. But it's really positive to see that civil service jobs are being spread more evenly, and we're going to start to see lived experience and local voices in policy.
Where would you like to be? If you could choose anywhere. I imagine that's not how it works, but if you could, where would you choose?
Well, I think the North East is becoming a huge player in renewable energy, in wind power, and in the transition to net zero. So I'd very much like to work in Newcastle, be back in Durham, anywhere that sustainability policy takes me, really.
And would you feel at the start of your career that you could have the same career and meet the same people and network in the same way if you didn't start in London? Or would that be lacking if you weren't in the capital?
It's a really good point. I think particularly at a university which is known for a lot of graduates moving to London and joining the graduate conveyor belt, it sort of is a place to start your career. But it's absolutely necessary in talking about the levelling up agenda that we have more of an even spread of policy. And I think the majority of graduate schemes are based in London, and that's a massive problem. And when I was applying, most of the jobs that I was applying to were in London because a lot of the headquarters are in London. I mean, Oliver Wyman, for example, has an office in Newcastle, so there's definitely a shift towards graduate jobs being elsewhere in the country. But absolutely, I would love to come and work in the North East and work on sustainability in the future.
I suppose, Nicky, something like that, you've already got a business here. You would want people like Amy, people at the start of good future careers, to be able to stay in the North East. That would help you, presumably.
Absolutely. I mean, recruitment in the area, it's only going to become more challenging. We've got so much to compete with now. There's going to be so many opportunities for people. As an organisation, we take trainees on every year, but we're expanding ourselves and we're looking for skilled people as well now. And we're already competing with the bigger boys. We've had to do a salary benchmark recently. We're having to look at all our benefits. I think as an area, it's up and coming, and it's going to be fantastic for people who want jobs, but we will need more people. We're not going to have enough.
Thank you all three. Nicky Jolley, who runs HR2day here in Darlington, Dr. Joanna Berry, Associate Professor at Durham University Business School, and Amy Campbell as well, who was a student at Durham University, about to join the civil service.